Hey, how's it going? Let me show you my signs before I start talking. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to make people seasick, motion sick, whatever. Okay. So, I have pulled some cards. And of course, as soon as I sit down to do this, I'm just a squirming machine. Sorry, that's the way it goes. So, okay, before I talk about the cards, I'll go ahead and talk about money, or what I've been thinking about it. And it's a part two. Let me just acknowledge that. So it's a continuation of what I've been thinking. And the last thing I had to say about it was what something I saw in a video about it got me thinking, and that was a little background, so I'm starting for real this time. In the other part, when I was talking about the money thing and how I relate to it, basically, is the whole conversation here. And the video that I had seen was saying, it's an energy like anything else, and so the way you act and react or respond to it is gonna correlate. So I thought, oh wow, I really have to make some adjustments. Because here's the thing, I'm wary of it, because I know like the kind of trouble you can get into if you run afoul of it, so to speak. Now, this is not my experience at all, but I often think about what happens to people that are already low income that end up having to go to prison. And this is not talking about right or wrong or who did what. It's about the person that for whatever reason has ended up in prison that is already low income, which means they are probably living, what is that? There's something I can't identify. Oh, okay, thank you, that was a distraction. Yeah, so anyway, and if you're already low income, these days, you're probably living check to check. And then you're forced to do things that further compromise you, like start taking payday loans, which are, I guess, legal. Imagine some air quotes there. Or something not at all legal that's basically the same thing, I guess, except you're in more danger. I don't know this personally. I'm just going off of what I have seen on like shows or read in books about getting in too deep with gamblers and then ending up owing like a loan shark, which is like a professional, although I don't know who doesn't know this that would be looking at this, but a professional money collector. And if you don't have the money, I guess they like beat you up and charge you more in the form of interest, or I don't know, their whim, they just like, you already can't pay us, let me make you have to go incur more bills in the hospital, and then you owe more on top of that too, to us. So it doesn't sound fun. Like none of that, like even whatever led up to having to be so desperate that you need money so bad that you're borrowing from that type of individual. I hope it was a good time, because it sounds like everything after that's all downhill. In my imagining. So I don't want to go that route ever. And no one does, I mean, God, I don't want to get down the rabbit hole too much about that, but there are things that happen in our lives that lead us in those directions. But you're already headed that way, I think, for something like that to happen. Anyway, that's like a not great thing that happens with money involved with your recreational pursuits, like gambling. So, okay, so like I said, that is not my problem. But even a little bit of debt. Oh, the prison thing. So, say you end up in prison for whatever reason, and like I said, you're low income, so you're already living check to check, and then people want to call you because they miss you, or you want to call other people because, my God, you miss them, and I hear prison ain't great. Like, you want to do everything you possibly can, I guess, when you're there to remove yourself from the reality, even for the briefest few moments. And because capitalism, here we have these captive people, capitalism, captive, here we have these prisoners, and we can do whatever we want with them, and their family hasn't done a dang thing except bring you into the world, and you're treating them like they did something wrong the way you're charging them to talk to the criminal relative. And the criminal earns money in prison, like in the form of some amount of cents, not even dollars, I don't think, a day, for little jobs that they do for, it's a captive slave house, basically. I don't know why I'm laughing, because that shit ain't funny. But, like, just to communicate with your incarcerated loved one is prohibitively expensive, and because they can, these providers, they do. And whatever the prison does in connection with the outside world, as far as, like, communications and food services and sundries, they give you, like, far less of the amount that you would get on the outside of prison than you would. You get more on the outside for 3 times the amount of what you're paying in prison, and then the amount you actually get in prison, I'm thinking like a bottle of shampoo, it's like small, right? Like, you gotta hoard that stuff forever to make it last. And the food, it's not the highest quality. It's food you can get on the outside, like stuff that's prepackaged, but now I'm understanding, I think, those labels that you'll sometimes see on individual packages of stuff that are no longer in their bulk packaging, and it says on them, not for single sale, but that's how it's appearing in the store. But I always thought, why is that there? And I'm thinking, I wonder if that's, right now I'm wondering if that's like how it has to look in prison or something like that. I don't know, that's always been kind of mysterious to me. I suppose I could just look it up. I took no notes. Oh my God. To read these cards, so I am not going to do that. I'm just going to finish talking about money, and I'll do the cards later. As it should be, because it's too early. I just pulled them like a half an hour ago. Stuff's happened, but not enough to make my procedure with the cards happen, so I'll come back to that. This morning, however, my cat woke me up at 4:30, and I was like, oh, that's too early. Damn that cat. But then I realized I think I went to sleep at like 9 p.m. So actually, I'm up at a normal time, or I slept a normal amount of hours for, I don't know. Here I am saying normal. What is normal exactly? What am I referring to? Normal for me. So it's really not that early in terms of sleeping. However, me and my cat are the only ones up. He's not over there. I don't know why I'm looking. And it doesn't even matter if other people were up, because I more than likely would not be having conversations with them because they wouldn't be in here. Yeah, we're all one. That's how I'm thinking, except we're all one and everybody's all in their own house. Also, as it should be. That's fine. Oh, wait, I'm not talking about money, am I? Okay, so this morning when my rear rockets, my retro rockets woke up, my ass woke up, whatever, I fiddled around, did some stuff, took care of cat business for him, and then a video came on, and I saw it, and God, I don't even remember the title now, but it was something about money, or it was something that I normally wouldn't click on, because what I thought I was looking at. Okay, so here's the title, or the title card of the video. It's like a picture of someone, and there's a wallet, and it's held open, like for you to see, or it's open, and then someone's like putting something in it, and I can't make out what it is because my prescription isn't working so well anymore. But it made me think of this other thing that I see all the time, and I have never bothered to watch it or click on it, because it's one of those things where you watch the video and you're all, okay, yeah, I'm interested, so what is it, and they're all, click this other video, and then if you've ever done that and you watch whatever's there, pretty soon it's going to be all, give me your credit card number, so I don't click on it. But it has a similar title card with a picture of an open wallet, and they're inserting something in there, and I wonder if they didn't like copy and paste this and remove the something that's being inserted, which is a crayon, and it's supposed to protect you from robbers somehow, I think. But again, it's one of those things where I didn't click on the inner video that I know is going to go to a credit card and not tell you the who, what, where, and why. So this other video without the crayon that I did click on said a lot of the stuff that the other one did about the money being an energy and not being adversarial toward it, and projecting your life if you had it, and always acting as if you do, and then some other interesting things like always keeping some form of money in your wallet, no matter how small, and just acting as if that's like 100 or 1,000 or however many more you need, times more than it actually is, and just give yourself the feeling of abundance all the time. And I was like, okay, well, wow, okay, it's gonna be like a really small amount in there. We're talking cents, but I'll put it in there. Can't hurt, right? And then one of the other suggestions was, it reminded me, or it says us, whatever, the people that it's talking to, it reminds us that red is a color of passion, and we're attracted to it, and also it's like a form of attraction for money, or it would just be good to get a red wallet, they said, and that would attract more abundance / money into your life. And that made me think of like Chinese holidays. I think Chinese New Year, they do this, and I think also like weddings or births, all the attendees will donate money, give money to whoever the subject of the party is, and they give it in these little red envelopes. I'm going to go with envelopes because I like the French pronunciation. But anyway, yeah, so the red, I was like, okay, that tracks. Probably not going to get a red wallet because, no, but I don't know. I could put like red on it or red around it or something. And then I just want to leave it at that, because to be honest, I don't want to have to think about money. I know I have to. That's impossible not to. So, the other thing that came to mind, and often does for me in terms of money, is a movie that I did a review on, Spirit TV critic review, and it's either in this channel, like, you're gonna have to go back, or it's on my other channel that I had for a while, pt.2, where I had a really terrible phone camera, but I was in this like creative mode, and I was like, I have to do this. So it might be on the pt.2 channel, but it was the Spirit TV critic on The Laundromat. And The Laundromat, if you don't remember or know, I'll put the trailer. Where's a piece of paper so I can take a note? I'll put the trailer for The Laundromat in the information box so that you can get a look at it. But I can tell you that it starred Meryl Streep and I think Gary Oldman, actually a bunch of other people. So yeah, I'll put that trailer in there so that you can look at it. It's also not new. I mean, it's relatively new. It's modern current era, but it's, you know, it's like 5-6 years old or something. But the thing about it that always, it struck me right away, and it just is still stuck there in my consciousness. And it is a line that is in the very beginning in this, what do you call that in the beginning monologue? Well, whatever, there's a word for it. If I remember, I'll... Good luck on me remembering. I'll try. So anyway, you know, beginning intro log or whatever, one of the primary characters in the film says all this stuff about money and is very smug and scornful because he's a person that professionally deals in money, and it's not even his money, and he's just all because money does that to you. Makes you think you're all shiny and beautiful. It's not even your shine or beauty. It's somebody else's money. But I'm so privileged to handle so much of somebody else's money. It's weird to me. This is like, if you didn't get what that just all was, it was sort of like how I feel like that character is, like they exuded that stuff. So this person is, you know, like sitting on a beach with their business partner on like one of those little, I don't even know what this thing is called, like a swing on a stand, like a porch swing, like a glider, but it's on a metal frame, so it can be a standalone. Well, I mean, I guess they would all be standalone. It's just not, they're not on a porch, they're on like a tropical beach or something. So it's weird, they got this portable glider they're sitting on, and, you know, they're rocking, so they're going back and forth. And the guy that's talking, giving this monologue, I believe it was the Gary Oldman character, is talking about how it's like a postscript to the events. So, you're not watching the movie. There's no need for me to have told you that, or maybe there is. Maybe there is. I don't know. We'll find out. But he makes a remark at one point where it's like, yeah, we do this and we do that, and sometimes it hurts people, but we make a profit and it's legal. And at some point in that part of his speech, he cuts to a clip of President Obama talking about the same thing, and he is the one that says, yeah, it messed all this up. I'm paraphrasing here. Messed all this stuff up, but it's legal. And both of them said, like, but it's legal. Like there's nothing to be done about it. Oh well, you're just screwed. And wow, really? I personally, I thought that was a terrible tone to take when he said it. And then when I saw that movie, I've always thought that was a terrible tone, no matter who says it. So it was like a double whammy. Having this character adaptation say it, and then juxtapose it with the president saying it. Was like, man, okay, I get it. Ow, ow, ow. I've been shivved by your remarks. Prison reference. Is it shivved or shanked? I believe it. You use a shiv to shank someone. Why do I know that? I don't know. Prison shows. Anyway, I just thought, you smug bastards. So many people get laid low by things like housing crises and crises and inflation, and I don't know, pick one. It's happening now. It's happening 30 years ago. It's happening 60 years ago. It's always something. There's always some kind of upheaval, a depression, a dust bowl. What was the one in 1929? I can't even think of it now, where it had the people jumping out of the buildings because they lost everything. It just occurred to me, here's what money is good for. Shaking things up. Like it's like a fallen wire, electricity wire that falls into a puddle, like after a hurricane, and it's just unpredictable. Except you know what it can do, you just don't know if or when it's gonna do it, and if it's gonna do it to you. And it all is like, every one of those eras was traumatic, right? For people in the financial industry who were the ones jumping out of the windows, if I remember my history correctly. And then you see the pictures of the people like affected by it, and they're just there struggling and making it work and getting through it however they can. And so it makes me have to remember this other like esoteric thing of, yeah, but you wanted to be here doing this very thing. You kind of helped set it up, so stop your complaining and find some joy in it. Find a way to enjoy it. And it's hard when you're in the middle of it. Me, at least, used to be all, whoa, slow down, take a deep breath. I'm terrible. Even if you're being advised in the moment, it's hard. It just really also depends on the delivery and who's delivering it. And by delivery, I mean both tone and whatever device, or if it's in person, however it comes across to you. And when I say you, I mean me. It makes a difference. Like, I might be able to calm down and take your advice and breathe deeply, or listen to you. It needs work. But it helps if you don't add to my own maelstrom. I don't know. I don't know how to direct someone on that. But in a way, like, I have talked about for a while that I'm having like some issues, and not anymore, because my attitude toward the whole situation, which to me is just rooted in money, and it just kind of, it was like a thing where for the first time it was not just me and my money. It was like not my money in the first place, but it got entangled with this situation. And when it's also when it's personal, it's also you and someone else, and by extension other people, it's really complicated. And I always get these feelings when I'm in the middle of stuff, like when my brain calms down, when the maelstrom, when I get into the eye of the storm and I can think for a second, think straight, I realize, oh, this here is a lesson for you. This is your opportunity to, like, points. So this is a new one, like me and all these other people involved in a finance issue, and it's like, wow. At this late stage adultism, I have not had to deal with my finances included with other people. So, bit of a freak, bit of a late bloomer. But like I've said it before, I'm on like an intensive. So I feel like hurry up and learn this lesson, figure it out, and move on to the next one. And apparently the lesson right now is money. So I don't want to talk about this anymore after this if I don't have to, so this will be my final disposition on this subject. The matter involves time has to pass because it got legal, and not because of me. I mean, I don't actually have the capacity to get legal. Like, if you get legal, you have to actually pay your lawyers and pay fees, and there's a lot of back and forth between the lawyers, and then it's a lot. When I was a messenger, I used to do court filing, so I know that on one matter, I know, like, I didn't look at what the matter was, but I could tell you that I would see the same name on papers that I was running back and forth from, like, locations all day. Like, it would be the same names, the same addresses. So back and forth communication, pew pew pew. And there was electronic communication at this time, but some things have to be done in person, like court filings. So anyway, I don't have money to do that. And also, I'm not litigious, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And in this video, though, it does give you some other tips about how to think about money and how to feel about it to improve your relationship with it, basically. But getting back to the guy's monologue in the laundromat, he says at one point, he talks about, like, basically how money evolved, like our current concept of money. And at one point he gets to the switch from not having currency to having currency, like conceptual money. And he says, oh, but so many and I'm paraphrasing again, oh, so many transactions must be made and it takes so long, and we need, like, something to speed up matters, and I'm like, yeah, everybody's running around on the camel. Speed that up right now. Put an engine on that puppy. And so credit is born, and he's like, what are we supposed to do forever? Barter? Like, it's a joke. But the thing is barter is like the most honest system you could have. And by the way, it hasn't gone away, which brings me to another loop of what I was just saying about, like, well, I didn't say it out loud, so you don't know, but something I said reminded me that I wanted to talk about how you get along sort of outside of the crushing capitalist credit system loop from hell thing. Like, you got to do everything right or else you're in trouble, and they make it so hard to do everything right, so you're always almost in trouble or you're afraid of it. And it's just like, why do we have to go through this mental torture? So barter doesn't go as far as electronic transfers and transactions is what I meant to say, but transfers also happen in that world, because you can go a further distance and deal with more and different people that way, and you can't really do that with barter. I mean, not fast, not with as many people. But the thing is, the more modern conveniences, the more easements we made for transactions and stuff like that to happen, the less we can trust it. I was going to say more, I may say more, but in a nutshell, the less we can trust it, because we are not able to look into the face of the person we're making the transaction with and see like the authenticity of what they're bringing to the table. And so I mean, you know what it means is like everybody's got to wait longer for goods and services. But the further we go back, we humans are always the same way. We're always fighting about something, whether it be litigious fighting, which has always been a thing according to like all of the holy books, and also the warring and the fighting. Like, we're just not very original, you know? But in a lot of ways, without all the electronic convenience and speed, it was like better. And this is not I want to go back to the 50s, the way life was, kind of tone deaf Caucasian MAGA comments. Like, it wasn't just you living then. You know how my thought, selfish you are to just think of, yeah, but it was good for me. But the other people didn't have rights and things like you had. Yeah, but it was better for me. Like, really, dude? How generous. What a sweetheart. But to go back to a time where at least money wasn't making these sort of human foibles way worse, that is, I feel like, something worth returning to, at least mentally. I mean, we still have all the modern stuff. Like, a way could be made for barter to work and be efficient and helpful. And then, so, like, major distant trading, I feel like somewhere along the way there, like, it's unformed in my mind, but like, the barter system could be improved to employ all this modern stuff. And I don't know, I mean, maybe it's just a sense, like, it doesn't have to actually be barter the way I'm saying, although, I mean, it could work. We do have ways to hologram things and Zoom things and Skype and whatever else, Snapchat and Tube chat, oh my god, video conference. Like, we've had the technology for a while, but what the electronic parts enable us to do, though, is, I feel, be kind of dishonest when we can be looking at each other face to face, but down below where you can't see, you don't know what's going on, you know? Jeffrey Tubin. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of an unformed thought, but my intensive right now is making me think about it, making me try and, like, parse it all out in a different way and rearrange the pieces of the word puzzle. You know, I started talking about this a few videos ago, and I think I did that thing where I think of something else and trail off, so just for my own purposes, I'm going to go back to it and finish the thought. And it was something that I start to say a lot, but I don't know that it makes sense to other people. And the saying is, like, either waiting for a tile to fall into place or moving the tiles into place, or the right tile fell into place. And when I say that, I'm talking about these games that I used to be able to get when I was a little kid, and they were real inexpensive and cheaply made, and they were from China, like little cars, little people, little everything little. And so this particular game, it was like a square, rectangle, I'm not sure which, probably square shaped frame, and then it had these little tiles in it that you could slide around, and then there was like a certain order. It was like a 2D Rubik's Cube, so this is sounding a little familiar, like maybe I did talk about it before. But I feel like, for me personally, but also like what I personally am feeling is a reflection of it, what everybody else is also feeling and experiencing on their own level, is like tiles are starting to fall into place with it. Not that it's going to be fast, not that it's going to happen tomorrow, just because, like, certainly not just because I just thought of it, but I'm not the only one coming to a similar conclusion. Sorry, outside of my nose, look. I don't have to answer to you, but since I'm right in your face doing it, I'm scratching this part. So, I'm about to wrap up. Oh, I don't know. I feel like kind of like everything that I said about, like the parts that I think are not great can either be altered or made better, and also the same I do feel like can be true of the barter system, because I have an example of that, like right here by me, and it's a person that is making their way in the world. They don't have a traditional job. They have 2 kids. They have pets. They have an apartment, and they're not doing illegal stuff. They're just like, I don't know, making that manifestation thing work for themselves. But they're always going, they're always moving, they're always hustling. So that, like, that whole life does not appeal to me, that hustle bustle and whatever. But this person thrives on it, so it just gives me inspiration, like what you can do when you are working with like nothing. You know, they're not like in systems, they're like living off the grid, in the middle of the grid. And I think, wow, that's something to be admired right there. There are positive things to take from that. So let's all give it a think. Thank you and good night.